Hey everybody, it is episode 21 of UpUrXP podcast, and it is your host BlaiseMcBaine back for another week of games, gaming topics, random questions, and so forth. It's just me again today. I do have some plans worked out, hopefully for next week and those to follow. I might talk about some of those at the end of the episode, but keep a lookout for some information coming y'all's way. And I'm going to start off just like usual. We're going to talk about games of the week. And I have several different things I've been doing this week as work has picked up. And I've been doing a bunch of running with my cross country team that I coach. So I've been pretty tired, but I did get some good games in this week. On Monday, I hit up some Naraka Blade Point. I actually streamed it. I signed up for a tournament to see if I can make it in. They only select like a certain number of people, and I was grinding some ranked on that to try to get into a position to where I'll be able to play in it. If I'm able to play in it, it'll be this coming up Saturday, I believe. So that'll be pretty awesome. And if that does end up happening, I'll be posting about it on Twitter. So keep a lookout for that. Naraka still feels like really good. I played a couple ranked matches. I made it into a top 5, and I ended up losing. And I made it into like this wild top 3 situation where all 3 of us were taking turns doing 1v1s and then would like back off and heal as it was wild. It was like a lot of respect but a lot of craziness at the same time. And then I lost a 1v1 too to lose the game, so that's always fun. On Tuesday we got a smite patch that came out, and with that smite patch we got Charybdis, the sister of Scylla, and we also got a bunch of sick skins. And I didn't even think about it. I should probably do a quick little tidbit on what changes were made. So un momento, and I will actually pull up patch notes so we can kind of talk about that a little bit, because there were some good changes that came with this. Charybdis, super fun. There's been, I think, mixed reviews on how people feel about her, and I think for the most part people feel like she's pretty evenly released, like not OP, not underwhelming. There's been a lot of confrontation about, I would say, the 3, which is called whirlpool form, where you go into the ground and you're CC immune, actually, and you're just immune in general. And it's like your movement speed ability. I think it's super sick. It does have a wind up time, so it is just like you can CC the beginning of it. It's just really hard to do. But the ult, the Maw Hungers, is supposed to be similar to Scylla's ult in the sense that it executes, but it has a really long wind up time, and it has a smaller area of effect that's kind of like a cone. So if you don't hit somebody with it, they don't die. You can CC them with it, but like it's really easy to avoid from what I can tell so far. Build wise, I've heard a lot of people don't like the bow build. I tried something similar, didn't really care for it too much, but I also went and tried out. I tried out different starter items. A lot of people liked Mannequin. I wasn't a fan. I did have a fun using Death's Toll and Hunter's Cowl, and I would do like Ichabal, Aussie, and then I would sometimes just go straight into crit and go like Rage, and that was feeling really good. We also got some sick new skins. I haven't tried all of them out yet. I did watch Kenny play the Solar Navigator Sobek, which is pretty cool. I have not seen the Ravana or Kefri yet in game when I've been playing. I did see the Mystic Raw skin, which is super sick. The Kero Danza Burro is really good. I'm pretty sure I messed that up, and that's fine. I really like the effects of it. Cthulhu T5 skin, look, it got a lot of hate when it got announced, but the Toon Mania Cthulhu skin is insanely good. Like all the different animations and all the different changes just off the abilities and not having to be all centered around the ult is such a cool idea, and I'm really liking it. Nice biggest fan, Zonkui. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Zonkui skin, so let's leave it like that. Then there's Valhalla Vice Heimdallr. Oh my god, Heim. I'm not even gonna try. I just can't today. I think this is the most underwhelming skin that's been released in a while. And it's weird. Like, I don't think it looks bad. I just think it's just very plain, and I was kind of surprised. We also got Classic Bacchus back, and then we got Draconic Devastator Thanatos, which looks sick. It's like the Odyssey chest skin this year, and it is a cool looking skin. And then apparently, I saw something posted by Netroid where they've actually changed the way he's holding the scythe in that skin back to what it was like pre-season 2 or something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go like do some more investigating about that. Then we got another knee skin, but at least it's Sakura Android, and those skins are just really good. So enjoy that. And then of course we got the Malwarm Jormungandr, which I can't remember if I've seen in game yet. I feel like Kenny played it the other day, but I don't remember. Anyways, that was all cool. We got general like bug fixes. We got the Chinese Joust map back, which is one of the preferred Joust maps for me. I actually do like that a lot. They changed some stuff about buff drop rules for Conquest, along with a couple other things. We finally got some artwork for Bracer of Radiance, so that's nice. And Bracer of Radiance is secretly OP. If you're not picking that up as a support, you should check it out. We got some increased cooldowns on Sunder, decreased magical power on Karen's Coin, Frostbound Hammer, decreased health, movement speed slow was decreased, and on melee and range attackers. Jade Emperor's Crown got an increased power, physical power reduction from 2025. High the Nemean Lion got a buff, and I don't think it's going to matter. They increased physical protection from 75 to 80, and they decreased protections needed per stack to block from 120 to 100. That's a revert, but I don't think anybody's going to be picking it up, even with the AA build being so popular right now. Bulwark of Hope is insane. You should pick it up. It has increased magical procs from 60 to 80. The shield provided for Bulwark of Hope will now be based on 50% of the holder's health rather than the 150 plus 10. We also got Stone of Fall, increased health from 150 to 200, increased physical procs, magical procs by 10, and a passive buff from 2% to 3% per stack. Blackthorn you're going to be seeing a bunch of. They got a physical power increase by 5 and health by 50. Staff of Miriam increased the duration of the passive from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. Dominance got buffed for attack bonus penetration from 10% to 15%. You'll be seeing that on some hunters again. Vampiric Shroud finally got some nerfs that were needed to magical power, and then on Bloodsoaked Shroud to health and mana. Conduit Gem got increased magical power. Mana Conceptor, they just made it more forgiving. They just made it a bit better than what it was. And then we saw increased basic and ability damage on Bumba's Dagger, increased cooldown, which is a revert for Bumba's Dagger, Bumba's Hammer. And then Bumba's Spear got a bunch of little tweaks to it. I think maybe it'll be good again. Go check it out. They got rid of the health, but gave it 10% pin, then increased physical power, magical power, and powered buff duration. Protector of the Jungle got buffed. Seer of the Jungle, both power. Seer of the Jungle got buffed with power in the passive. Really, there's just a bunch of good stuff here. Guild Arrow, decrease the cost, increase the basic attack damage. And then War Flag, increased gold reward from 8 to 10. Benevolence, they nerfed it to the ground. Tiamat got some nerfs to consume and outburst by power scaling. We saw Raijin get decreased bonus tick damage. Yorm got buffs, so we're going to be seeing some more Yorm, which I always think is good for the solo lane. And then literally basic attack damage change, Venomous Haze chain, and Consuming Bellow change. So go check those out. Bellona, they're trying to make Bellona relevant. I don't know if that's going to happen in the current meta. I played her today in a Learn Me tournament and got dominated, but I also played her in jungle, and I have not played her in jungle really at all besides the A to Z challenge I've been working on. Alma got huge buffs with increased attack speed per level, and Glorious Charge got decreased cooldown from 18 to 16. I think those are actually significant buffs, but much like Bellona, I don't know if that's going to bring her into the meta. Scotty got some love with Rune of the Hunt, increased Calder's basic attack damage, and Permafrost decreased the cooldown from 18 to 16 seconds. Then we had Toth buff, increased basic attack power. Baba Yaga got some quality of life stuff on her ultimate. Sasano got stuff on Wind Siphon and Jetstream for increased base damage. RDO got some love with decreased cooldowns and increased charge speed on heavy charge. And a lot of these I haven't even seen. Like even with like Kuzumo got buffed, I haven't really seen him much. He had increased damage on the Nene throw, and Neja got decreased cooldowns on Flaming Spear. That's a quick rundown of all the changes in the patch this week. Try to keep that as quick as possible for you guys. But that's everything that you had come out on Tuesday. My first Charybdis game, I played with Willow, who is a old host of Bot G, and I went 9-3-17. Felt really, really good. We had a raw that was nuts. Like this guy was like hitting all the snipes and just popping off. It was insane to watch. And I think he outdamaged me, and he had more kills than I did. Like he was just insane, like absolutely nuts. And then I played another Charybdis game, and I went 7-4-13. We should have won, but every time I almost had a kill, our Freya would banish them and go whoop right up in the air, and I couldn't kill them. So that was fun. And our Thanatos just kept diving. And then Vio finished with top player damage on Alp Wash, who's his Diamond Challenge over in the Bot G Discord. I decided to also do the Diamond Challenge again. I've done all of them thus far. And I got kept free, and I was like, I'm not doing another tank again, because that's what I usually get. And I re-rolled into Dons and Burrow. I think I had 1,600, I think it was like 74 or 76 worshippers. So I wasn't eligible for the star challenge, so I have to get 2 stars. But it's triple worshippers next week, and I like Dons and Burrow, so I think I'll be fine. Wednesday, it was Smite with Vio and Kenny, and I think we just slammed a bunch of assault queues for the most part. I had Soul in assault, where I went 8-2-11, and I had 31k damage. And the next closest person was Kenny on Gilgamesh with 23,718. The cool thing about that game, I just kept getting out with no health. Like I would have less than 100 health and be able to evaporate and get away. Like it was insane. I should have died so many times that game. And then I tried out the new Donza skin, which I really, really like. And I need to take a moment. I'm going to shout out an enemy player. We do this every once in a while. This enemy Thor, dead player 123, built this damaged Thor build in arena, and my first 6 deaths were all to him. Like he would just ult, dive on top of me, hide behind a wall, throw a hammer, wall me, spin to win, dead. Like, I mean, the dude was just popping off. I could not live. Like, he could literally just, like, 2-shot me. It was insane. And then the last game of the night, I solo queued as Charybdis after Nev hosted me on stream, so shout out to Nev, who is a host over at Bot G, and had a killer charity stream last weekend through Titan Cupcake. Was awesome stuff. And we had the enemy team surrender, but there's an awesome clip of me on Charybdis and this Hercules trying to chase me down. I pop Aegis, and as Aegis is running out, I move to the left next to my fountain, and the Hercules keeps running forward, and I do a circle around him. He misses driving strike. I walk into my fountain to heal. I kill him in my fountain, and then they ended the game. They quit. But it was super funny, and I really enjoyed it. Thursday, I just spectated some matches between Asgard Akami and Mobile Wards. I wanted to cast, but I ended up falling asleep early, so I wasn't able to. And hold on one second. All right, so what y'all don't know, well, chat knows if you're watching on Twitch, is that was a little bit more than 1 second. One of my sons walked in and crawled up on me to pass out. So I'm actually going to leave that in there because for funsies, why not? But I spectated matches on Thursday between Asgard Akami and Mobile Wards. I was really looking forward to casting them, but I fell asleep getting one of my sons asleep. And then when I woke up, my wife was just getting home from the movies. So I made sure those were spectated so I could try maybe to cast them later or do a VOD review later. And then I played a single game of Charybdis and went 10-1-17 in arena and for the event, and I went to sleep. I passed out. Like I said, it's been a long week of a lot of running at the end of each day of teaching. So a lot of days, like there were either naps or me just going to sleep early. One of those days was yesterday, which today's Saturday. I'm recording on Friday. I came home after a nice run, nice dinner out with the family, and then I fell asleep for 2 hours. I woke up just in time to cast Asgard Arcami versus BNX Jaguars, and unfortunately, the games ended up being an FF because one of the players couldn't make it. Apparently, they weren't able to update Smite or re-download Smite in time, so just is the way of the road sometimes. Unfortunately, I had to wait 30 minutes to figure that out because of the rules. And then because of that, I was like, I really want to cast. I went back and casted game 2 of the Asgard Arcami Mobile Awards scrims, which was really fun to do. Shout out to Majin Busha to try and to blink and then ult as Kerberos, and he blinked. I guess he missed the button, ended up blinking, or he ended up ulting and not blinking. I don't know which. We talked about it today, but I roasted that man on the cast because he ults and there's just nothing around him at all. It was really funny. I talked to him about it today, so he knows I'm just messing with him. After that, I ran some assaults, starting with Gilly, Embers, Bats, and Kenny. And then eventually Embers dropped out. We picked up Vio. And slowly but surely, I think it ended up just being me, Kenny, and Vio. And really, we didn't have anything super crazy. I had a really fun game on set. And I mean, set's just a fun god to play, even if it is in assault. So I built like slightly tanky and then kind of just went ham on people. I just dove and then got everybody's attention so that everybody else got to get kills, and that was pretty sick. Then I played Humbats, and the Humbats game was insane. I built tanky, and I got some really cool plays with like being able to throw monkey and teleport and pick up some kills or lead people on a chase that lasts a while. But we get this crazy push on their Titan, and we ended up just staying too long and not being able to, we couldn't kill the Titan. It was like, I don't know, a couple hundred HP, and we just couldn't kill it. And so we overstay, we wipe, and we all get up, and we go to defend our Titan, and we get a kill. We get another kill, and then our Titan falls. And it was like, no, it was such a good fight, though. We also had an 8-minute and 7-second assault game last night, and like, they did not surrender. We literally won 8 minutes and 7 seconds. And those games are always insane to me. Because they're just kind of surreal. Like they just don't feel like they're real when you're playing them. So other than that, today was 2 things. Today I guess I'll start with the Smite stuff first, and then I'll start with and then I'll go to the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, even though the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff started last night and took up most of my morning. But let's talk about Smite first, since we're already there. I queued up some arenas, practicing for today, like just trying to make sure I felt good for the tournament today. I wanted to get warmed up. Hold on, I need some water or something. Holy, I can't talk. I started off with Dons and Burrow, since I'm trying to get him Diamond Challenge. I went 16, 9, and 13. I kept trying to get a Penta, and I could not do it. And I was absolutely just popping off. Like, no one got to live in that game. If they came into contact with me, I just ran at them. I think that game, I don't think that might have been, no. The one that Dan got a Penta, I think is, I forgot. I played full damage Ganesh in an arena. I went like Vampiric Shroud and just went damage, and holy, we were having a ton of fun. And then, oh no, Pele and Arena slaps. Like, I just went Bluestone, and then I went straight into, I think they had a bunch of healing, so I went Brawlers into Crusher, and I was just, it was Bluestone, Trans, Crusher, and I was just destroying people. Felt real good. And we're like, okay, we're ready for this tournament. We get a first round bye, and unlike last time where we went against an SPL team, we went against a bunch of SEC players, and we just got absolutely mopped. And it feels bad. Like, it'd feel nice to not have the first round bye and play against a team to at least get a dub and then lose, rather than like waiting through round 1, like trying to plan, and then you just get absolutely stomped. I got hit by a max range Morgan 2, once I got to mid and I was like leaving, that killed me. And that just kind of started the snowball for their jungle and mid. And then it was just bad. It was the tournament conditions today where you had to play a goddess. So it was definitely an interesting concept and made for interesting picks and bans. But overall, we just had a rough way to go. And then I played Yu-Gi-Oh with Kenny. We'd been talking about how we want to do Yu-Gi-Oh. So I pull up the website and I spend probably half an hour last night before I went to bed off stream. And then I spent like another, I would say probably 2 hours today opening packs. And the most frustrating part was it took forever for the packs to load on the website. Like, I mean, that's probably what at least an hour of my time is waiting for packs to open. So I could flip the cards and figure out what the heck I wanted to pick for draft and go from there. And I'm like, and then not only that, like I have to click on the card to read it, but it has to pull that up in a separate window, and those were taking forever. So anyways, it was just taking a long time, and I was getting irritated. I played Kenny tonight. Fun time. I lost, as to be expected, but I had a good time. And we were talking about it afterwards. He's like, it doesn't take that long for me to open packs. Like they just like it doesn't pull that wheel up for 20, 30 seconds and then open. And I was like, man, I wonder if it's my browser. And I pull it up in Google Chrome, and it was my browser. It was my freaking browser. And I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier today to try a different browser. But man, in Chrome, instantly loads, you're good to go. So I know that for next time, but feels bad on the amount of time that was wasted on waiting on that today. But at least we got to play some games, and that was good. Fun times. Other than that, I don't think I have any other games to mention this week. I think that's it for games of the week. I feel like there's something I'm missing, and I don't know what it is. Who knows? I have some new games I'm going to try, but I don't think that's what I want to talk about. Who knows? All right, well, moving on. Let's talk about some gaming topics. Let's talk about some stuff going on in the gaming world. And I'm going to start with hate raids. A lot of the bigger streamers don't necessarily know what a hate raid is, because I would say it's generally focused on smaller streamers. And oh yeah, I could talk a lot about that too, Vio. Sorry, Vio brought up in my chat that we could talk about the Blizzard lawsuit. I might need to save that for like next week. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of time for that, and maybe I need to do some more research. I want to talk about hate raids, and hate raids are happening right now on Twitch. There's a variety of different things that are doing them, but basically, just like you get raided by someone you may know, it's a like bot account, and they come in and just spam your chat. Sometimes they spam hate messages, so on and so forth. There's been a whole lot of talk about it by smaller streamers, or even like I would even say mid-level streamers, where like for instance, there's a bot Haas00312_ that followed me yesterday. That's like the 7th version of Haas that's followed me this week, and it's a bot. What makes it worse, and the reason I want to talk about it, is because if you click on it, it has now added a new fun feature. If you click on it, see its profile and ban it, rather than type /ban in the username in your chat or however you like to do it. If you click on it to view the profile, it also has become an IP tracker, which is a ton of fun. And we have multiple accounts doing this. There are some sites you can use to do this. If you want that information at any time, I might try to get it in the description below. I'll probably try to get it in the description of the podcast. But there is a website that lists out, or a Google Doc that lists out all the known malicious bots, and it's updated regularly. Along with, there is a Commander Root Twitch add-on type thing that will go through, and you can add all those to that, and it will go through and ban like all 4,000 of those accounts that are used to do hate raids and stuff. We've talked a lot about toxicity on this podcast, and I think it's important to note that like this falls under that. Like why people are doing this and trying to bring about malicious content onto people that some people are just trying to play games and have a fun time. Like, yeah, they might do this for their living. They might stream for their living. But that doesn't mean that you should take a bot in there to spam hate messages and everything else. Um, it's sad. You hate to see it. It's not something you want to see. Am really hoping Twitch gets on it sooner rather than later. I will say, like, I went to go ban a bot last night and it was already banned. Like, it said username does no longer exist. So something's being done, but it feels like there needs to be like maybe some more parameters set as far as that goes. I know as a streamer, you can go in and set how long someone has to be following you in order to raid. So maybe that's one of the solutions that needs to happen. Like, you set it to, maybe even if it's just 10 minutes, that keeps the bot from able to do it, or set it to a day or a week or however long, or just make it where they can't raid and you can only accept hosts. I think there's a lot of options there of things to think about, but I think it's definitely something we need to keep an eye on and maybe continue to talk about. So, and the main reason I wanted to bring it up is I really hate seeing that type of negativity in the gaming community. I think there's enough negativity and toxicity out there. And like I said, we've talked about it before, but I also think there are plenty of people that are like myself that I stream for fun. And even though I'm a smaller streamer, maybe I miss that somewhere between Twitter and whatever else I use. So if I can help a few more people be knowledgeable about it and spread the word, and get that information out there about banning them through the chat or using the commander root to ban them rather than clicking on their profile and get an IP scan type thing on your computer. If I can help with that, that's awesome. So that's our first thing, is more so just like a little news segment about what's going on with that. Our second thing is, and this is something that's happened to me a bunch in competitive Smite, and I'm sure it happens in elsewhere in like amateur leagues. And we've talked about it before about teams staying together, but I want to take a different perspective and talk about why do people try and change match times right at the match time or like an hour before? Like, what is it about teams that they're like, you know what, we have a comp match in an hour. Oh, wait, I can't be there. All right, well, there's two solutions to this. You have subs on roster, and if you don't, you have the option to have subs on roster in almost every competitive league. Specifically for Smite and AGL, you're allowed to have 2 subs and then a coach. The coach can't play if you have 2 subs, but you're allowed to have 2 subs and a coach. So if you have 2 subs, make sure one of them can play that day or something. I guess what's confusing to me is if you're getting ready to play and the opposing team was like, hey, before you decide on a date, you only got given, like, let's say 2 days, maybe you got more, but maybe you only got 2 days. At this point, it's Friday and you're supposed to play by Saturday. And Friday night, game's supposed to start at, let's say, 8 o'clock. And at 7:45, they're like, hey, we're not going to be able to make it tonight. Or can you push it back 10 minutes, 15 minutes? That is an acceptable amount of time, I think, to ask for. And I think most teams are gracious enough to do that. But once it's gone beyond that 15-minute mark and you're asking for 30 or more, I think it's become pretty much rude. At that point, like, if you know your team can't make it and you have subs that you're unwilling to use or they can't make it as well, you just have to take the forfeit. You have to realize that you are wasting people's time, and it's just a video game, and it's an amateur league, not a pro league. This is something I talked about when I was a admin in leagues, where if 2 teams couldn't agree on a time, or 2 teams were set to play and then one couldn't get this couldn't get things organized correctly, is, well, do you have subs on your roster? Well, yeah, I don't want to use the subs. Well, then why are they there? Why do you have subs if you don't want to use them? Well, I only want to play my main roster. Well, sometimes there's going to be a week where not everybody's schedule is lined up. I've been there. I've played on teams as a sub. And I used to I've had times where I filled a different role every week for 5 weeks or whatever, because schedules didn't work out. Or I've been in the situation of I was the person that needed, I had to get someone to sub for me. And because of that, it sucks not be able to play, but we had a sub for that reason. And if you don't have a sub, the one thing you need to do is not go find a higher level player and try to convince the enemy team to let you use this higher level player. It's an unfair advantage. Especially if you've already taken a game loss. If it's already after the game 1 forfeit and you're going into game 2, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. I don't understand why teams do it. I've seen it happen a lot with Smite teams. Like I said, I'm sure it happens in other competitive leagues. I just don't personally know because I haven't played in those. And it's one of those things. I'd love to hear some other people's feedback on that. Like, why do people not want to use listed subs? And then why, when they don't want to use listed subs, do they go look for someone that is obviously out of the skill range of the matches they're playing in? I just always find that interesting. And it's always like a gold league and they want to bring in a diamond player. And then it's always like, well, yeah, they're in diamond, but we never play with them. It won't make a difference. Yeah, it does, bro. Like the skill level alone means that they have better mechanics and better knowledge than that of a gold player. So I don't know. I always like to bring that up. I think it's an interesting issue to talk about. I've talked about it with several people as I've played Smite over the past couple of years competitively, and I think it's something we have to think about. And why is it such an issue to play a sub, or why is it such an issue to find a sub that's appropriate for the skill level? And a lot of people will be like, well, it's because I want to play with friends. Well, then you probably had to play up, and that's unfortunate. I've been there. So things to think about. Also, sorry, I got a little bit distracted during that because a big old bug just started walking across my wall above my monitors, and I got really sidetracked for a second there. So if I spaced out a little bit, that's why. Other than that, our random question of the week is brought to you by Kenny and Vio. Kenny says, what is your favorite music album? Right now, what I'm really enjoying, and I've been listening to it for a while, is the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. As a soundtrack, I just really like it. As far as, and then Vio said, what's your favorite music band? Oh man, my favorite band? I don't know. When I was younger, I really liked Three Doors Down, but I listen to them now and I have certain songs of theirs I can listen to, but a lot of it I don't like. Or I don't like it as much, I guess I should say. Honestly, if I was to go back and think about bands I used to listen to that I really liked Green Day for a long time. I haven't listened to any of their newer stuff. Like American Idiot, When September Ends, like those type, like that era. I went to one of their concerts, really enjoyed them as a band. And then I can always listen to some Beatles. That's a throwback. And the Beatles are always good. They're always good. There's songs for everything. So when it comes with the Beatles, my wife was a huge Beatles fan. That's when I really started listening to the Beatles, and she was such a big Beatles fan that I spent 2 years while we were in college saving up money to be able to take her to London and go to Abbey Road to be able to propose to her on Abbey Road, which is a little fun fact of the day. Also, fun fact, there's 2 Abbey Roads because I went to the wrong one when we took a train, and I was on a time limit to get to the other one because I'd set it up for a friend to record the whole entire thing. I was like, hey, we will be there between this time and this time. And I worked out the time difference and everything so that way he could record it for me, so we'd have a recording of that. But yeah, I would say that's my favorite albums. So I do want to talk about, or my favorite album, favorite albums. I only named one. There's probably some others. What is it? There's the first Imagine, is it the first Imagine Dragons album or the second? One of those albums is really good. And I listen to Taylor Swift albums with my wife. Taylor Swift slaps. So things to talk about as far as we end the episode is there's going to be some changes. I know Suave's back at school, so he's doing his thing there, and I am working on figuring out some stuff for the podcast. So we're going to see some possible changes coming forward for the foreseeable future. We'll see how it goes. I'll kind of let you know what my goal is right now. I can talk about it, and then as always, if you all have feedback, throw it in the Discord. Put something on Twitter at BlaiseMcBaine, or go on Twitter and go at UpUrXP. And you can find me there too, and leave feedback at any of those places, and it's always welcome. But the kind of idea is, I think we're going to look to do a rotating co-host type idea, and I'm going to try to see if I can find a few different people to do that can either be on an episode together or that can rotate in and out. So it's always going to be me and one of the co-hosts. I'm hopefully looking to find like 3 to 4. That way someone doesn't feel like they always have to do this every week. I enjoy doing it, so I love to be here every week if possible. So that's 1. 2, along with that, that would include also maybe one week we sit out the co-host and we bring in a guest, or we have our co-hosts and a guest on. So that's the format I'm looking to possibly move to. It might take some time doing that. So I do apologize for that difference, but hopefully that makes for better content over time and brings in different perspectives. That's really what this is about. I started this podcast not only to talk about video games, and a lot of the time we're talking about Smite because that's what a lot of us play, but I wanted to bring in the different perspectives of gaming topics that we bring up. And I think the best way to do that is to have rotating co-hosts or rotating co-host with guests. I think that's just the best way to do it. So if you have any type of feedback on that, if you have any co-host suggestions, or if you yourself would like to be a co-host, hit me up. Let me know. We could talk and figure something out possibly. Along with that, I am looking to add maybe rotating segments or new segments to the podcast. I've tossed around some ideas when I've talked to people in Discord. But if you have anything you want to hear me or others talk about, as long as it's related to gaming, throw it out there. Let's make it happen. I want to make sure the things we're talking about are things you're interested in. Earlier, Vio brought up the Blizzard lawsuit, and maybe we could do a deep dive episode of the Blizzard lawsuit. Maybe that would be something cool to do. Is instead of 1 week where we maybe we talk about games in a little bit of a shorter time period, or maybe we just don't talk games of the week at all, and we just do a deep dive into a gaming issue. Maybe that would be kind of something different we could do. But definitely let me know your thoughts on Twitter, on Discord. The links for that will be in the description of the podcast. I'll also try to make sure to put the Google Sheet and the Commander root link there if you are dealing with bots on your stream. And as always, I hope you guys have had a good day, a good tomorrow, and a good week. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye!